Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Anthony Joshua. He has made a statement on Instagram. We're also going to talk about Joseph Parker, and we're going to talk about Canelo versus Crawford. So stay locked in. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, like this video, and let's get into it. Anthony Joshua has taken to social media and he's put out this statement on his Instagram stories. We're not going to run through it all. We're just going to talk about the bits I want to talk about. Now, he talks about Joseph Parker, and he says he's a real competitor. He's in the game to fight whoever, unlike his dippy mate Tyson Fury. He also goes on to say, to my supporters, I'll be back to lace up my boots and put on the gloves sooner than later, hopefully punching Fury's head in and dancing around his flicker jab with ease. Anthony Joshua, I think this is a very good move, because from what we can see from the outside looking in, Tyson Fury does not seem to want this fight. Look, we're not privy to the board meetings. We're not privy to what the agents are doing behind the scenes. All we can say is Anthony Joshua is injured. Tyson Fury is quote unquote retired, and he's finished with boxing. Anthony Joshua needs to start running stuff like this, getting the word spoken about, building this fight. Whether it's just to piss off Tyson Fury enough to get him to sign the paperwork, I think it's the best way to do it. I want to see this fight. I know this fight sort of sits in the limbo of a lot of people's minds of, you're either, yeah, I really want to see this fight still, or the time's gone, or they should both retire. Whatever camp you're in, I still believe that when this fight gets made and it gets fought in London, it'll be a sold out stadium and a lot of pay-per-views. Never mind what our attitudes might be looking at it now, saying, yeah, I wanted this fight, but I wanted it 5 years ago when they were world champions, or yeah, I wanted this, but it's just taken too long. Anthony Joshua's not the same. Tyson Fury is retired, and whatever else. I can understand all that. And look, would I have wanted to see this fight more 6 years ago than I do now? Yeah, most definitely. Would I have liked to see this fight for a world title when they were both at their peaks? Yeah, most definitely. Does that change my attitude to wanting to watch it now? Not really. I still want to watch that fight. I'm a big Anthony Joshua fan. On the early days, I wasn't the biggest on Tyson Fury. I think the more I've watched him and the more I've got to see him at the top, at the bottom, at everything else, I have come around to enjoying seeing Tyson Fury. I think he brings such entertainment to the fights, and I believe he is a very, very good fighter. He's only going to be snarled at now because he was beaten by Alexander Usyk, someone that I think is one of the greatest of all times. I think Tyson Fury is an outstanding, outstanding fighter. Anthony Joshua at his peak, I think, was very, very, very good. Obviously, they're both two fighters that have had highs and lows. I think Anthony Joshua probably with a few more lows than Tyson Fury. When you look at AJ's losses to Andy Ruiz, when you look at his loss to his two losses to Alexander Usyk, his loss to Daniel Dubois put a bit of a dampener on a lot of people's love for Anthony Joshua. For me, I still love Anthony Joshua. I still want to see him back in the ring. I think he's great for the sport, and I don't think we're going to see him past 3 more fights. If he gets the Tyson Fury fight next, I think that might be his last. I don't even know whether he will do 3 more. I think we're going to see him take on someone in January, hope for Tyson Fury later in the year, and I think that'll be the last we see of Anthony Joshua. Unless there's an offer, a big offer to fight someone for a lot of money, or for a legacy fight, or maybe he wants to do a fight in his home of Nigeria. You know, you never know what Anthony Joshua wants to be doing. I think it all sort of depends on this fight. I think this fight is the maker or breaker of what we're going to see Anthony Joshua do in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. All right, keeping on the heavyweight division, we saw Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. They made their launch press conference last night. This fight I'm so excited for. Honestly, it is one of the fights that really, really, really gauges my interest. I think it's so good. I'm a big fan of Joseph Parker. I hope all the fans turn up to the O2. I know Fabio Wardley, he did really well selling that fight at Portman Road against Justice Hooney. I think Joseph Parker is a beloved fighter. I don't know anybody in the world that doesn't like Joseph Parker. So I hope they can get a very good crowd in there. It'll be a good night of fighting. I'm not sure who they're planning on having on that card yet. Nothing's really been said. We're talking October 25th, so I'm expecting in the next 2 weeks to really start to work out who's on the co-main, who's on the rest of that roster. And let's talk about Canelo versus Crawford. They have made their grand entrances, grand arrivals, whatever you want to call them. Yesterday did their face-off. Look, this fight's massive. I'm seeing all the pictures online of what Vegas is looking like, what the ring has got set up. Big week of boxing. I think it's going to be unbelievable. I honestly, I hope it doesn't. I don't think it will. This fight won't disappoint, will it? I don't see a world in which this fight disappoints. I think we're going to see two people that are really going to go after each other. I think Canelo will be there wanting to apply the pressure to stop Crawford, and Crawford will be out there to prove all the naysayers wrong, like he's done his whole career. That has really driven Crawford, and his success is proving people wrong, and this is another occasion for him to do it. What do I think of this fight and what it'll mean for each fighter? I think it's a great win for Canelo. I think it's a great name on Canelo's resume. I think the person that'll get the most out of this fight is Crawford, though. I think if Crawford loses, it's more tarnishing on him than it is on Canelo. Canelo loses, hey, I've lost to Floyd Mayweather, I've lost to Bivol. It's not a first for me to take that O from Terence Crawford, something that people really idolize now. They look at Crawford, and whatever argument you sort of push forward to say, oh, Crawford isn't as good, not that there is many arguments, but if you were to push one forward, you'd always be met with sort of the Floyd Mayweather argument of, yeah, but he's 41-0, man. You know, he's undefeated, he's never lost. So what are you going to say? And on the other side of that scale is if Crawford does get the win, we're going to be saying, man, this guy is pound for pound maybe the best ever. We're talking undisputed in 3 weight divisions. I mean, that's insane, especially when you look at the divisions. Like, you're talking about undisputed at welterweight, and then you're saying undisputed at super middleweight. That is drastic differences in size, and we're talking champions at lightweight, super lightweight. He's fighting at super welterweight. He's going to have a really big catalogue of why he's the best pound for pound fighter of all time, the best welterweight fighter of all time. He's going to have all these arguments that he can push forward if he wins this fight. For Canelo Alvarez, I think it all lies in the name. I think Canelo Alvarez at 35 to say, I beat Terence Crawford, I took his O, is massive. The other thing I will say about Canelo Alvarez is I feel like the excuses may already be made for the fight, if I'm being honest. I feel like if Crawford wins this fight, Crawford has climbed a massive mountain to go up in weight and beat an undisputed world champion at super middleweight, whereas I think the other side of that coin is Canelo wins the fight by knockout, and we say, yeah, but he was versing a Crawford way out of his weight division, an old Crawford. You know, see how I'm saying these excuses? These are the excuses that will be made after it. I will be, no matter who wins this fight, make an excuse for either fighter. I think when you look at the build-up and how evenly it's analysed and spread over the whole entire boxing world of people saying, I think Canelo, I think Crawford, there's no room for excuses in my opinion. I think whoever wins will be the better man on the night, and I don't want to hear shit about, oh, what this, oh, but that, oh, but this. Either way, whether it's Canelo who, look, I am a bigger fan of Canelo than I am Crawford. No doubt about it. All right? I really enjoy watching Canelo Alvarez. But if he loses, I won't be there making excuses. As well as I will not be making excuses for Crawford if he loses. And I don't expect anybody else to be making excuses for Crawford. I will be making my prediction video later in the week. I want to see them weigh in. I want to see everything else around it, how they're looking, how they're feeling, what the camp's looking like. And to be honest, I might even leave my prediction to right before the start of that fight. We'll see what happens, but as soon as I know who I'm tipping, I'll be posting that video. So stay locked into the channel. Leave all your thoughts about what we spoke about today in the comments. I will be making a video about Lewis Crocker versus Paddy Donovan. That should be already up on the channel. We're going to make a video tomorrow talking about the undercard of Canelo versus Crawford. And we will probably make another Canelo versus Crawford video on Friday or on Saturday morning. So we'll see what happens. like, subscribe, and I'm out of here, guys. See ya.